J. Bob. Today I'm going to be reading poems that I've written since the day that you recorded me in O'Reilly's backyard. And I'm going to make comments about a few of them. There's some interesting backstories to a few of these poems. The first is The Ocean Within. The infinite ocean is within. I stand on the shore, calling, calling. There is no response, just the echo. Wave upon wave, crashing, crashing. These salt tears confer no solace. They are a reminder of what I came here for. My cries unheard above the splintering surf. My longing deeper than the deepest sea. I have no tools, no knowledge, no inclination. I am no sailor. I have no aptitude. This mystery is as vast as ocean's expanse. Where am I going, and how to cross over? Solitary I stand on the shore, calling your name. I know you hear me above the crashing. The storms on the water no longer touch me. I have slipped away into the depths. I have become drowned in your ocean. This next one I wrote up at our cottage on a cosmically beautiful day, an Indian summer type day. And I was sitting on this porch, and the poem just wrote itself. It's titled, Take Me to Your Infinite Sky. Late summer afternoon, the sibilance of crickets, the murmur and babble of stream, sitting and gazing, nearly dozing, a gentle breeze touching my forehead. I am lost and found. Across the valley, twin peaks, rock faces glinting, granite moisture glistening, a sharp-shinned hawk settling on the currents, floating, spread-winged, circling. A hummingbird gathering nectar at a dahlia and a patch of clover. A momentary scent of jasmine. Imagine a harmony of bees. The chipmunk is more active today, scurrying, hurrying, making ready for something I cannot begin to know. My reverie ends this way. Are you here? Are you not always here? The difficult dreams of last night evaporate like the fog of early morning. My place is not of this world. I see your arms reaching out to me from an impossibly happy, fluffy cloud. My spirit whispers, for none but you to hear. Embrace me. Take me to your infinite sky. Caravan. I remember the moonlight on your hair, your eyes like diamonds, the star glow on your sadra. You turned and walked away. My heart departed and has never been found. A desert dweller I have become. Nothing grows in this arid land. By day I wander as nomad. By night I dream the oasis mirage. There is no satisfaction to be found. I live life with my arms outstretched, looking, pleading, a beggarly existence. My thirst has become a dust bowl of longing. I dream of you standing before me, telling me you will never leave me. There is a sandstorm within me. I have been etched and hollowed. I stand as mute testament to the vagaries of the winds of time, to the exigencies of life without hope. Today, the desert bird of paradise flew over me. He circled the sky above me. His shadow touched my heart, then covered my body. I received your message. My empty chest beat once again. I left my desert home behind. Your caravan taking me to your abode. This next one has a very interesting backstory. Many years ago, Anita and I watched a film that the brothers Luck had done of Meher Baba's brothers Jal and Bayram. And it was a very touching story, a very touching film of them reminiscing about times in their life with Baba. And there was something that was said again and again in the film, 2 lines that I utilize in this poem. One of the brothers would say, and they were sitting next to each other, one of the brothers would turn to the other and say, "Do you remember?" And the other would immediately say, "Yes, I remember." And those 2 lines have stayed with me. The title, Do You Remember? I remember you calling my name, your voice more clear, more familiar than any voice I have ever heard. My heart's ears recognized you. My heart wanted to sever itself from my chest, to be with you, to run after you, to the ends of this earth and beyond. But this did not happen. It was not my time. Now I spend my days and nights calling your name. In the beginning, in the agony of my aloneness, I called your name in the darkness. In desperation, your name escaped my lips. In your compassion, your photograph came off the wall, your lips resting on mine, separated only by a pane of glass. I remember a dream, a lifetime compressed into minutes. We were companions, fast friends. We went everywhere together. We were inseparable. Just before I awoke, you turned to me. "John, don't you know who I am?" When I awoke, I was weeping, knowing it was you. Where does the heart go when it tires of this world in the enormity of illusion. The heart knows everything and nothing at all. Ask it, and it will answer. Do you remember? Yes, I remember. The answer. Ascend a mountain. Climb to the summit. Climb to the top. Then keep climbing. Set sail on the ocean. Sail to the ocean's end. Then keep sailing. Take his name. Repeat his name. Say his name. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it until it becomes sweet nectar. Say it until it becomes the wine of your unknowing. Say it until there are no other words, only Baba, Baba, Baba. Say it until it becomes the fabric of your life. As it is life, life eternal, Baba, Baba, Baba. Say his name until he becomes you. Say it until there is no you. I stand at the edge of infinity. I stand at the edge of infinity. The creation revolves around me. I await the gentle breeze of your compassion, the all-embracing warmth of your love, the silent rain of your grace. I stand at the precipice of destruction. This life no longer mine. What did I know when I gave it to you? Did I know the seas would part? That the mountains of desperation would find me? I stand with my arms outstretched. Either take me in your tender embrace or crush me with love's sweet kiss. I have given all I know to give. Receive me, beloved. Never release me. You stand before me smiling. O love, be assured, I am with you from before the birth of creation. Let the earth go. Let the heavens fall. Hold on to my daman and watch the show. The beloved conceals himself. The beloved conceals himself within the lover's heart. The less the lover knows, the more the beloved manifests. The lover becomes ignorant in love for his beloved. The beloved's home is hidden in the chamber of the heart. What longing, what ache this ignorance produces. The lover is constantly calling his beloved. The beloved answers in silence. I am here. I am always here. The secret of love is enacted within the heart. It is best that the lover knows nothing. The walnut does not know what it contains. The fruit within, hidden beneath a tough exterior. Tell me where the beloved resides. He resides everywhere wherever you are not. Remain ignorant, and the beloved will take pity. He will cover you with his cover of light. Abide in the light. Become light. The heart is the beloved's torch. Let the heart become an eternal flame. The beloved conceals himself within the lover's heart. This next one is for Richard Rarick. Love's Tears. When the day has forgotten itself, when time's pendulum is at a standstill, when the world is entranced between sleep and slumber, I sit on my bed and await you. Your tide rolls in. The contents of my house roll out. The furniture of my life taken by your waves. There is nothing left but you and I. I sit suspended in time. Look at the clock. The hands no longer move. The room filling with light. Tonight the full moon is rising. There will be a tsunami, a tidal wave. Will I give in to ocean's pull? Will I surrender to ocean's call? Tears are rolling down my face. Their salt always reminds me of you. I am ready to return to the ocean. Every drop in this ocean loves tears. If I really loved you, I would remember you every minute of every day. I would remember you during my restless nights. I would call your name again and again and again. I would bring you bouquets of fresh, fragrant flowers. I would garland you with my love. I would call you Father, Master, dear, and darling. I would whisper, beloved, beloved. I would wear a lock of your hair next to my heart. I would sing silly songs to you when no one is listening. I would meet your family and all your loved ones. I would cross the threshold of your eternal resting place. I would bow down to you within myself. I would cross oceans to be with you. I would forget this illusory world. I would sit, stand, and prostrate myself before you. I would touch your photograph with my eyes countless times. I would swallow myself and forget everything. I would do all this and more and more and still yet more if I really loved you. The only words I know. Gazing at your face, looking into your eyes, I am at a loss for words, dumbstruck, speechless. Words are empty vessels, shadow carriers for what I want to say. The only sound that escapes my lips is your name. I say it again and again, as if to keep you here. Only you are here. And as long as I am not, we will continue like this. My heart silently beating, the rhythm you've bestowed on me. Baba, Meher Baba, beloved. Baba, Meher Baba, beloved. This song only for your ears. These words, the only ones I know. May I say them until the end of time. Fortune. I've already forgotten what I wanted to say. Maybe something about how fortunate we are. No, that is not it. No, not it at all. But my pen is in my hand, so I will continue. Yes, we are all so fortunate. But what about the less fortunate? The least fortunate among us? Is fortune a matter of degree? I haven't a clue what was so important to me that I looked for this blank piece of paper. What was I thinking when I picked up my pen? I don't believe I was thinking at all. That is when it all comes to me. Fortune is what comes when we least expect it. Fortune is each one's birthright. Fortune is a gift beyond measure. Well, this one I didn't send out. I send these out to, friends, loved ones, and sort of like when an artist paints a painting and doesn't put his signature on it. This is mine, but it doesn't really have my stamp of approval. I don't know. Should I read it? I mean,
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you already qualified it.
Yeah. Okay. I titled it Gambler. I am not a card player. Never had a poker face, nor the inclination or ability to wager on the unknown. But I am an inveterate gambler, with no skill whatsoever, just the propensity to keep losing everything I once had. A little bit here, a little bit there. I have become insolvent. Now the bank has called me in. My accounts have been closed. The time has come. My gambling days are over. I bet it all on a hopeless venture, that I would win everything and lose nothing. I had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
So that'll be the one they remember. It's really, actually I liked it a lot.
So Anita gets credit for the first line of this next poem.
Okay.
This is written about 10 days ago. And I heard Anita say, just sort of off, matter of fact, she said, the world is a series of distractions. And that stayed with me. And the next morning I wrote this poem,
right,
utilizing that first line, or what she said is the first line. I changed it to this world, and I put endless series of distractions. This is titled Heart's Song. This world is an endless series of distractions. When we pass from here, everything disappears. What then becomes of the heart? I know my heart is still in your hands. I gave it to you so long ago, under the crest of the new moon, the sound of doves cooing. I gave without thinking at all. This hollow in my chest, hidden even from myself. Forgive me for every moment that kept me from you, for my unthinking past, for my unmindful present. I remember your hands when you received my heart. I saw the care you took, the sweetness in your eyes. I might have heard your voice. Maybe it was the cooing doves or the whispering evening breeze that spoke so softly to me. Give me your heart, your abundant beating heart. I will always listen to the song of your heart. This next one, the subject matter I revisit from time to time, and that's the battlefield. And this one's titled, On the Battlefield. On the battlefield, nothing appears as it seems. Some call it the fog of war. My comrades flail at ghosts. They see enemies all around them. Our commander prepared us well, though few have heeded his commands. Everything is a matter of perception. Right action comes from this awareness. I carry his flag, his banner. I am in the midst of turmoil. I am at the heart of confusion. I remember his words as my fellows fall. Nothing can touch you as long as you remember me. I am with you through thick and thin. I am the sword within you. There must be some way out of here. Through the smoke and haze of battle, I see a shaft of light before me, and take his name as I charge. Whether I live or die is no matter. I have obeyed my commander's orders. This world is nothing but the smoke of dreams. When the fog is lifted, he appears. Now, I have to give credit in here to Bob Dylan from All Along the Watchtower. I wrote the line and then realized afterwards that it comes from that. There must be, I think his line is, there must be some kind of way out of here. Yeah, and so
That's
happy
fine.
to give credit.
Well, at USC Film School, they said, don't borrow ideas, steal them.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong.
There's nothing new under the sun.
No, there isn't really.
I searched for you. I searched for you in broad streets and narrow alleys, on foot, bicycles, cars, on my knees, across flatlands, valleys, mountains, watching, looking, never ceasing, in restaurants, hotels, under the stars, in movie theaters, on television, reading books, in friendships, enemies, acquaintances, loved ones, in dreams unceasing and never ending, again here, again there, in hospitals, schools, museums, in children, parents, relatives, in rhymes, anecdotes, poems, in microscopes, telescopes, rearview mirrors, in flowers, leaves, and trees, on park benches, subways, planes, and trains, in every man and beast, in the minutiae of a lifetime, consciously and unconsciously. I searched for you everywhere until I opened your door and saw your beautiful, smiling face. The answer to my dreams, thicker than any bond of blood, finer than any strand of hair, imperceptible to the eye, is this relationship between us. I talk with you daily. I tell you about the weather, my knees. I tell you about my children, my friends, my loved ones. I tell you about everything I know. I really don't know much about anything. It is just my habit to talk with you this way. Some might call it prayer or meditation, although there is no formality between us. Some would question my sanity if they were to overhear me. They might have some real concerns. Why do I keep talking when nobody is here? I have come to the place where I tell you everything. There are no secrets between us. Some might wonder how I know this. Last night, I dreamed I was talking. All night long I was talking. When I woke up this morning, you were the answer to my dreams. This last one is interesting. Anita and I were watching a movie the other night on television, and they were showing other movies on whatever the venue was. And one of the ones that they were was in the queue was Apocalypse Now. And Apocalypse Now, of course, is a great film. And that was 2 nights ago. Then I think it was yesterday, a friend was over, and he mentioned the word apocalypse. Actually, this was the day before yesterday he came over and mentioned the word apocalypse. And it sort of stuck with me, and this poem came out yesterday. The apocalypse is upon us. Kali is wearing her death mask. The 4 horsemen are at the gate. This is the end of time. The world fights among itself. Everyone wants everything. Fingers pointing everywhere. Everybody knows everything. The wick of righteousness is flickering. There are few that see its light. These remain unmoved by the dance of confusion. They hold on to the unseen and as yet unmanifest. Death and destruction are all around. The news is bleak and rumors abound. Turn off your television. Forgo social media. Let the tamasha whirl around you and go within. The answer is before us. It was written before the beginning of time. Kalki will rejuvenate existence. Behold, the white horse avatar is here. And somehow I feel like that's a fitting conclusion for today.
I like it.
Thank you. And thank you all that are listening.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, John. All
Thank
right.
you,
J.
J.
Bob.
Bob.